most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Really humble, too. According to me today, we're going to talk about 16 surprising things that raise your blood pressure.
Yeah, we don't want to. We want to minimize them, Bob. That's what I'm trying to say.
Spoiler alert, some of them aren't surprising, but some are. So we'll go over all those. By the way, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, go to bobandbrad.com. Go to the giveaway section. We're giving away beauty this week. It's the bike, right? Yeah, the exercise bike that you can use under a desk.
Oh, so yeah, work and exercise at the same
time. You can also find the contest. It'll be pinned to the top of... No, that's right. Our cameraman was going to bring it out. You can be pinned to the top of the Facebook, the contest, or you go to Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok if you want a 60-second version of our program.
You gave it a shot, Bob.
Yeah, I gave it a shot.
Yeah, we got podcasts out there, too, with outstanding authors, interviewers, and wonderful things going on there side of our life,
Outstanding interviewers, so we're outstanding.
Oh, of course.
Interviewees.
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's talk about the first thing. Sugar.
Sugar.
You know, besides being an inflammatory, which, increased inflammation in your body, you'll be surprised, you find sweeteners in a lot of things, of course, and it can raise your blood pressure. In fact, it's probably more than a lot of other things that raise your blood pressure.
The only thing good about sugar is it tastes good.
Yeah, that's right. And
seriously, I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, right. There's, the more you can limit the sugar in your life, the better. Unless it's sugar in your relationship,
Yeah.
Okay, by the way,
you're killing me, Bob.
If you want to track your blood pressure, which we recommend very highly to do, because that way you can experiment and see what works and what doesn't work. Otherwise, it's an experiment of one. To figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
What do you mean what works?
Well, for example, my wife, she's really sensitive to salt.
Okay.
I mean, she takes salt, her blood pressure goes way up.
And she's done it with self-monitoring.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got the Bob and Brad. I know this sounds like a commercial, but we have the Bob and Brad blood pressure cuff. And the thing about this, Brad, I find a lot of these to be unreliable. And this one was tested, and I've used it myself. It's consistent. It seems good.
Yep.
Our recommendation.
I actually was using one that wasn't reliable, and it gave me high blood pressure over a period of weeks. And I finally called the doctor, and I went in, and they monitored me, and I was fine. So I had to throw that one out.
Probably gave you high blood pressure because you were anxious.
Well, it probably was one of those things.
Okay, number 2. For me, believe it or not, it was mouth breathing. I first saw this. It was a book you gave me, Brad.
Yeah, breathing.
Yeah,
breath, breathe, whatever it's called.
Yeah, something like that. And they talked about people that they did an experiment with just 2 guys, but I also have now seen it in the research where they would actually close their nostrils up and breathe through their mouth for a month, and then they did the other way around where they keep their mouth shut.
Yeah,
my wife would like that, but I do it at night. I was mouth breathing at night, and now I tape my mouth shut. My blood pressure went down about 10 points. I mean, it was very consistent.
Did you measure it in the morning or?
I measure it usually in the morning, right?
Yeah, because they're supposed to measure it at the same time of day, same posture and positioning.
No, it was definitely a drop.
Yeah,
it really made a difference.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Number 3, caffeine. So if you're sensitive to caffeine, this is a good example.
Yeah.
You might be fine with it.
Right.
Your blood pressure maybe doesn't react to it. But as little as 200 milligrams, which is, I think, 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
That could increase your blood pressure.
Right.
So.
And a cup of coffee doesn't mean one of those 25-ounce things you get at the convenience store.
Right. That's probably about 7 cups there.
Right.
So. Okay, lack of sleep. We've had a lot of videos on this. Sleep is they're finding it to be more important than we ever thought, Brad.
Sure.
I mean, everything starts to go to heck when you're sleeping.
To heck in a handbasket.
That's right.
That's true.
So
7 to 8 hours. Yeah, I was sleep deprived over this. I was out camping and I didn't have my bed to sleep on. Oh my goodness, I was down to 4 or 5 hours
Oh,
of
you
sleep.
were
I think.
crabby, I bet.
Yeah, woke up pretty weird
Oh my
looking too. I couldn't
God.
walk straight. Anyways, I didn't check my blood pressure though. I probably should have.
Yeah, okay. Inactivity. If you are not getting exercise, we'll give you one more reason to get exercise.
Oh, that makes a big difference in my because I was
Yeah.
tracking mine and aerobic exercise for me.
Really helps.
Yeah. hmm
And if you don't have to even get exercise in that fashion, you can walk your dog, play with your kids,
Right.
gardening, you just get some movement.
You better believe it.
All right, too much alcohol.
Oh, yeah. I field tested that, but I've never checked it. But when you
I
live in
field
Wisconsin,
tested that.
you're very, very well
It's
up on that.
Yeah, so the old guideline is women can have one drink a day and men can have two. So
Oh, okay. I'm good then.
you're good. Okay, smoking. I always found I give this as an example, Brad. This kid, he was nephew of one girl that worked for me, and he was 17 years old, worked in a sawmill and cut off his finger. And they were really worried about getting it back on because he was a smoker and his arteries were so bad
Yeah.
already just from smoking at age 17.
Oh, really?
So they narrow your blood pressure, narrow your blood vessels, which is going to raise your blood pressure.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So another reason not to smoke, another reason to exercise.
Right.
We know what you sound like. Are we like giving good advice? Are we, postulating?
Let's just get on.
Okay.
We're babbling now.
All right. Okay. Some of the over-counter meds or supplements can also raise your blood pressure. We had Chris, the pharmacist, on who really once, warned us about St. John's wort. He said this thing interferes with a lot of medications, and
Not necessarily St. John's wort itself is going to, but when you mix it with other meds that you're
medications,
taking,
right.
yeah, then it's can be a problem.
he said you need to check with your pharmacist or doctor before you try anything like that. So
Yeah, especially if you're already taking meds, is
Yeah.
the big thing.
this is going back to the sleep thing again. People with sleep apnea have higher blood pressure quite often, and that's where the CPAP machine can come in handy and help regulate that. So
Right.
not enough potassium. Your
Hmm.
kidneys need a balance of sodium and potassium to keep it right. So if you're eating a low salt diet, you can still have high blood pressure if you're not eating enough fruits or veggies or beans or
Broccoli.
low fat dairy.
Yeah,
or
you can just Google up food with high potassium. You get a whole list.
thyroid problems.
Oh.
I know someone very close to me that has problems with this, and sometimes you need to take a medication for low thyroid and also high thyroid.
Hyper or hypo.
Oh, yep.
Mhm.
NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, or like aspirin and even ibuprofen,
Yep.
they can raise your numbers.
Sure.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah, so don't take them chronically. It's those they have other negative effects that could potentially happen. So be aware of that. Talk to your doctor, pharmacist to make sure you're safe.
I don't think my wife will mind that I mentioned that she has this next one. It's the white coat syndrome.
White coat syndrome. Oh, when you go to the doctor, your blood pressure is high there, but it's not at home.
Right.
Because you're a little nervous about
Yeah.
seeing the doctor.
And she always complains as she gets there, and she sits down and they check it immediately.
Yeah.
You're supposed to sit for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Relax.
Yes.
So-
yes. I don't know if the doctor doesn't wear a white coat, if that helps, because sometimes
Wear
they
a
don't.
pink coat. Yeah. So, all right, dehydration. If you're
Yeah.
not getting enough water, your blood vessels tighten up, and so.
See, I was surprised on this one because I thought if you dehydrate, get less volume, that it would go down.
Interesting.
Yeah, or if you go a lot of fluids in your body, then your blood pressure goes up if you got edema and all that.
I think your body reacts so. I think when
Okay.
there's not enough fluid in there, your body's smarter than we are.
I didn't mean to ruin your number 15, but
All right.
anyways.
Number 16, hormonal birth control.
Mm.
So pills, injections, and other birth control devices can narrow up the blood vessels. So keep that in mind. Sometimes your doctor might have to give you a lower dose of estrogen, to keep your numbers
Yeah.
normal. So
And those things are prescription, pretty much. I think only, and the doctor will address that,
You
or
should.
hopefully
If
should
if they don't, you should bring it up.
remind them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there they are, the 16. Keep track of it.
Would we call it the Sweet 16?
Sure, Sweet 16. I
there
like
you
that.
go, there you go. Yeah. So really, it is a good idea, especially as you get older. Your body's changing.
Yeah.
You know, monitor your blood pressure. I've got one right in the drawer by my recliner, so you know it's
Right,
convenient.
right.
When it's convenient,
You do
it's-
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, Brad and I can fix just about anything.
Except for,
A broken heart.
but this kind of
This is
relates to
related
it.
to
Yeah,
it, yeah.
this really could be in chapter 1. Yeah, we could get this.
If we would get a chapter done. Thanks for watching.
Well, it's an agenda.